McKean had the same fire, Matt Balogun had the same fire, Dillian White had the same fire, so it's nothing new.
And
There's
he
nothing.
smashed an egg in his face. I mean, how many times have we seen boxers do things that they shouldn't do? You know, we saw Derek Chisora spit on Vitaly Klitschko.
We didn't need that.
I'm not offended.
The tension between Moses Itauma and Jermaine Franklin erupted in stunning fashion during their recent press conference, an event that instantly transformed from routine promotion into a moment that shook the boxing world. When Moses slapped Franklin across the face, it wasn't a slip, it wasn't a heat of the moment flinch, it was a statement. A message delivered with the full weight of pride, pressure, and rising ego behind it. And the moment that slap landed, everything changed. Franklin didn't back down. He didn't wobble. He didn't blink. Instead, he stared straight through Moses, standing like a man refusing to be bullied by the latest heavyweight prodigy being groomed for stardom. From the start, the press conference felt volatile. Moses walked in carrying a different kind of energy, sharp, confrontational, and fired up. Instead of easing into the back and forth, he came loaded with threats.
It's like I can finally shut a few people up. It's just the only one that I ain't trying to get answered is how's Moses Itauma's chin? Ain't no.
Verbal jabs and psychological warfare. He kept pushing, prodding, and provoking, testing Franklin the way an experienced fighter tests a younger lion. But what Moses didn't expect was how quickly that intensity would turn on him. The more he pushed, the more emotion seeped through. You could see the control slipping from his hands, replaced by a rising frustration. And when
I'm not them. I'm Jermaine Franklin Jr. I'm a warrior inside and out, and I'll die for this. So he gonna have to do the job. I'm not laying.
That frustration reached a boiling point. The slap exploded loud, raw, and intentional. Jermaine Franklin's instant response wasn't chaos but defiance, a reminder delivered with cold precision that he isn't just some entry-level opponent for a rising star. In calling out Moses's inexperience, Franklin wasn't playing mind games. He was speaking from the depth of a man.
You know, when you're getting poked like that in a face-to-face, you know, after a while the temper goes, and it's good. You know, I think it's going to be that.
Who has survived far tougher nights, fought higher caliber opponents, and endured more punishing pressure than Moses has ever felt. Franklin made it clear that he's not a stepping stone, not a showcase opponent, and definitely not someone whose pride you can test without consequences. Even Eddie Hearn, known for controlling chaos, didn't sugarcoat what happened. He admitted this explosion was inevitable. Both fighters had been edging closer to the line.
This morning, man, to make the way how he's done it, you know, on the morning of a fight, it's just wrong. It's dangerous, and the board are now in a situation where they think shit. So
all week, and in his mind, the slap was simply the moment everything finally snapped. If the tension at a press conference was already this combustible, Hearn warned, then the actual fight could be twice as wild, because once punches start flying, neither man will be holding anything back. Johnny Nelson didn't hide his frustration either. To him, this wasn't clever promotion, it was reckless, dangerous, and borderline.
Oh, I mean, I don't mind fighters pushing and shoving, probably shouldn't be slapping each other at the face-off. Security did a pretty good job of corralling it while they could, but I thought it was just
unprofessional. He described the situation as a powder keg waiting to blow, and he openly questioned how the board would react to the physical altercation. For Nelson, the press conference crossed from hype into madness, an indicator of how unstable this matchup has become before the fighters have even touched gloves inside a ring. Meanwhile, the Wade concept broke down the moment with sharp, detailed insight.
Look, you never know in boxing. It's expect the unpredictable. Do I think it was staged?
He acknowledged that tension is part of the sport, that fighters are expected to bring heat during press tours to sell fights, but he didn't excuse Moses either. The slap crossed a line. The chaos that followed, with security shoving, shouting, and struggling to separate the two, showed just how dangerous things had become. Wade emphasized that nothing about the slap felt scripted or playful.
To call it, I thought it was a stroke of genius personally. I don't see there's any harm in it. You know, this is the entertainment business that we live in now, and if you're not going to be entertained...
It was a warning shot, a spark thrown onto dry gasoline. Adam Smith kept his explanation grounded. In boxing, he said, chaos is baked into the sport's DNA. But he refused to buy the idea that this was staged theatrics. To him, the incident was too raw, too emotional, too real. You can't script the kind of vein-popping anger that rushed across Moses's face. You can't plan the ice-cold composure Franklin displayed. Smith praised the authenticity even if it terrified promoters, because this kind of unpredictability is what makes boxing so captivating. But then comes Duke McKenzie, flipping the entire narrative on its head. While many saw recklessness, Duke saw brilliance. In the modern boxing world, he argued,
it's frightening for the sport. It's not that it's bad, it's frightening. But listen, this isn't boxing as a sport, this is the circus.
attention is currency. If you're not creating headlines, you're fading into the background. And Moses' slap? It was headline gold. Whether it was planned or accidental, it lit up social media and poured gasoline on the rivalry. Duke insisted that spectacle, even chaotic spectacle, is part of boxing's evolution, and he considered this moment a masterclass in capturing the world's attention. Tony Bellew, never one to mince words, took the bluntest stance of them all. He called the press conference a circus disguised as promotion. Bellew highlighted the contrast: Franklin's simmering, controlled fury versus Moses's explosive loss of composure. To Bellew, the slap wasn't strategy, it was ego run wild. And while he labeled the moment terrifying for the sport, he admitted something undeniable.
I had just going through the motion, he's serious about it, you know, so I liked it.
Yeah, like his energy was like very calming throughout the week.
The entire thing was magnetically entertaining. Fans got more drama in that minute than in some 12-round snoozers. Then came a fascinating angle from Roy Jones Jr., who peeled back the curtain on Moses himself. According to Roy, behind the scenes Moses has been calm, focused, and composed. But the moment he stepped in front of Franklin, something cracked. Pressure, pride, the bright lights, whatever it was, it forced Moses into overplaying his hand. Roy's insight revealed that even the most promising young fighters can lose control when confronted with a man unafraid to challenge their confidence. Dave Coldwell echoed this, explaining that once Moses laid hands on Franklin, everything escalated. Trash talk is expected, slapping a man is personal. Coldwell emphasized that Franklin's reaction was natural.
I'm not surprised.
Does that cross the line, do you think?
Yeah, it does. Listen, the presser was good. It was a great presser, back and forth, poking each other, but not too far.
Even admirable. Instead of panicking or retaliating wildly, Franklin matched fire with composure. He refused to be bullied, refused to be rattled, and refused to feed Moses's emotional outburst. That's what made the moment unforgettable. On a different note, Paul Smith added humor to the chaos. He called the slap poetic, chaotic, dangerous, but also undeniably funny. The juxtaposition of Moses's explosion and Franklin's stone-faced reaction created a surreal moment where drama met comedy. Paul highlighted how polarizing the incident was. Some saw disrespect, others saw pure entertainment. But everyone agreed on one thing: it was impossible to look away. Jack Catterall, always calm and calculated, brought a refreshing sense of reason. He reminded
a rant by Chisora, but we expect that from Chisora. I'm not going to lie, when it happens, I laughed my head off. I absolutely laughed my head off. I did too. I thought it was quite poetic. I thought what happened was...
Wounded fans that behind all the madness, fighters are humans navigating strict discipline, intense training, and severe weight demands. Moses's mental state, combined with physical pressure, can push any fighter toward extremes. Jack didn't excuse the slap, but he reminded everyone that boxing is a brutal sport built on mental strain. His perspective grounded the conversation, offering a reminder of the realities fighters face far from the cameras. Finally, Adeo analyzed Moses from a developmental standpoint. He noted that Moses's raw talent, emotional fire, and explosive personality are powerful tools, but only if channeled correctly. Facing a seasoned opponent like Franklin is the perfect litmus test. The comparisons to early career AJ and Dillian White show the weight of expectation Moses carries. Adeo stressed that the slap may dominate headlines, but the real story is whether Moses can convert that wild aggression into focused performance on fight night. Moses himself later spoke about the moment with surprising maturity. He talked about learning from the chaos, about staying presentable, about absorbing lessons from every confrontation. Behind the fire, he revealed a mind that pays attention.
In the meantime, I think we put together a brilliant fight with Jermaine Franklin, the American. It's going to be a good fight. I think, with Moses and him, I think it's going to be a good fight, and I think it's a good test for Moses.
One that studies the environment, not just the opponent. This suggests Moses isn't simply a hothead. He's a fighter growing through every experience. Now, after one of the most explosive press conferences in recent memory, the boxing world is buzzing. Moses showed raw, unfiltered emotion. Franklin showed composure, steel, and experience. And their upcoming clash has shifted from a normal matchup into one of the most unpredictable showdowns of the year.